Hello you guys, my name is Kyla. I really am so excited to make this video because if you guys have been around for a little bit, I used to make a lot of aesthetics content. I used to be a medical esthetician. I'm still a licensed esthetician. I do still keep up with my license because I just love aesthetics and you just never know where life is gonna take you. But I kind of like left aesthetics, went back into finance, which is what I originally did in my career, and now I'm in real estate development. So yeah, I've talked about this a lot. I'm not a person that just has one passion or just like one thing that's my thing. I'm super passionate about a lot of different things. Yeah, I'm just like not gonna put myself in a box. I'm gonna talk about all my passions and all my interests. So we are bringing back the aesthetics content and I'm so excited. So yeah, but I am a licensed esthetician. I used to work in a dermatologist's office as a medical esthetician. So I received and gave a host of services. I got my aesthetics license from Aveda. Yeah, so that's just like a little background. I wanted to talk today about filler, Botox, and I wanted to talk about them from a very like educational standpoint. I just feel like everyone has filler, everyone has Botox. Like these procedures are just so trendy and so normalized now. I think because everyone's doing it, everyone's just doing it, if that makes sense. And I just feel like as someone that did go to school for this, I've seen this, worked in an office with it. I'm not like a nurse, so I didn't actually inject anyone, but I was like very involved in the process. I've also had these treatments myself, so I'm in no way saying don't get these, or I'm in no way trying to inform anyone or sway anyone one way or the other. I just want to, I guess, give like education on it. I want to make sure we're doing our research, girls and guys, and we're not just like getting it because it's hot and trendy. I just want us to do our research. I want us to be aware. I want us to understand the long-lasting implications. I could talk forever about this because I love this. I thought that I would just in this video talk about things that I have had. I feel like that's a good start point because I've had like the basic treatments that I feel like a lot of people get, and I just wanted to like go through them and talk about them from an educational standpoint. Again, not trying to sway you against it, but I do think there should be a certain level of like research done when you're injecting substances and stuff into your body, not only with the substances but also with the provider that you choose. So yes, with all that being said, first I will start with Botox. I get Botox. I've been getting Botox since I was 24 years old. I hear a lot of people on the internet who are against like any type of, what is it, cosmetic procedure, be like, oh, you're too young to get Botox, you're too young for that stuff. And I agree to a certain extent. I don't think teenagers should be getting cosmetic procedures or even like early 20s. And I only say this because I just feel like you have to give your face time to fill out. Like I look different than how I looked when I was like in high school, 18, 19, 20. Like your face just changes. You look different. And I feel like I don't know, you might have insecurities, but like maybe just give it time to, you know, like, I don't know, things are just gonna change when you're still developing. And so I do personally hold the belief that I do not think you should start cosmetic procedures until at least 25. And I say that in tandem with the fact that that is when your skin usually begins to age backwards. So anywhere from 25 to 30 is when our skin begins to like go down. Like we go to that peak and then it starts to go back down and deteriorate, which essentially we're just losing collagen and elasticity. So just a little bit about Botox. Botox is a neurotoxin and Botox is a brand. Botox is not a thing. Almost like a NYX eyebrow pencil and Anastasia Beverly Hills. Like, those are brands of eyebrow pencil. Botox is a brand of a neurotoxin. Another popular one is Dysport. They are both neurotoxins, just slightly different molecular structure. The units are different, but they're like translatable. It essentially causes like slight paralysis of the muscles. You're essentially paralyzing the muscle, and that is what's helping to smooth out those lines. So I get baby Botox in my forehead, and as you can see, like, I'm putting my eyes up and I'm frowning down. I don't really have those 11s or those horizontal lines. Without the Botox, my wrinkles are not bad at all. But again, Botox is best used preventatively, because once you're already like making those expressions and you start getting those lines, it's a little harder to treat. You need a bit more. But if you just start off freezing your face, then like you're not making those lines to begin with. So yeah, Botox is definitely one that you can get when your skin just starts to age. Whenever you just start to see it, it's typically around 25 to 30, just depending on genetics, skin type, all those things. You can get Botox every 3 to 6 months. I get mine every 6 months because again, I just like to be super conservative with the stuff that I do. I also am very intentional about looking the same. Like, I'm just very intentional about matching my baby pictures. Like, I just want to look like the same human being, you know? Like, I like little things here and there, but essentially I want to look like the same person. Yeah, I would definitely say err on the side of caution with Botox. I'm sure we have all seen people who like can't make expressions anymore because they're just so frozen. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. To me, it just like doesn't look natural. Also, you don't need Botox if you just want to age beautifully and naturally. Like, that is still beautiful. Botox is super quick. My appointment is never longer than 15 minutes. You can numb for it. I do not numb for my Botox. It's literally super quick. It hurts a bit, but I have a very thick dermis. I have thick skin, which is literally just genetics. So I just like feel it. I feel like the needle is going so deep into my skin. Like, yeah, it hurts, but it's quick. So last thing I wanted to say about Botox is relatively safe. There are some risk. There's like a certain part of the eyebrow that you're not, or like this bone right here, if I'm remembering correctly from my days at the derm office, that you're not supposed to inject into. I've seen a provider inject there, and I've seen people get like a droopy eye. It's typically fixable, but there can be like permanent implications, damages, stuff like that. But Botox is typically pretty safe. It was first developed medically, and I think it was actually by like an eye doctor for like as an alternative to having to go through eye surgery. I believe it was for either cross-eyedness or like something with the eyes, but it was developed medically and used medically, and then it was like they just noticed that another side effect essentially of it was that it reduced wrinkles and stuff, so then it started being used cosmetically. So Botox is pretty safe. It's been around, I believe, for a long time, at least since like the 1970s, maybe even before that, but it's been around for quite a while, and it's pretty like tested and safe. So yes, let's move on to filler. I have gotten my lips filled. I have about 1.5 mLs of filler in my lips, and I got my lips filled like almost 2 years ago. Yeah, almost 2 years ago. I get it mainly in my top lip because I don't really have a top lip, so I mainly get my filler in my top lip. I've only gotten filler once, and like I said, again, it was over 2 years ago. Dermal fillers are essentially, they're typically hyaluronic acid. They're not permanent. Well, they're marketed as non-permanent because hyaluronic acid is a natural substance our body produces, and our body metabolizes it when it's injected. So it is something you have to continuously get done because it will metabolize. The only thing about filler, one, I would just be very careful with under eye filler. There are a lot of risks to under eye filler. A lot of things can go bad with under eye filler, like blindness, a whole gambit of things. I would just do your research, make sure you're going to a really good provider, and honestly, I would not recommend under eye filler unnecessarily. I will not get any face filler because filler does migrate. All of it does not metabolize. It does migrate. Also, filler is exactly that. It's filling, like my smile lines. I could get filler to like pop that out. I personally feel like filler starts making your face fuller. That's essentially what it is, and I don't love the look of like that puffy. I also feel like you can get very carried away with these procedures very fast, and you can just start to like, you get used to it and then you want more, and then by the end of it you look back, and I've just seen a lot of people look back and just kind of be like, what did I do to my face? I sound like I'm trying to like talk people out of these procedures. I've literally had them. I just think we should proceed with caution. Face filler does migrate. You can start looking plumpy, even with the lips. I'm sure you guys have seen where like this top part of the lip just becomes really like out, and from the side it just doesn't look great. It looks really like popped out. I think after a while of getting lip filler, it's probably best to get the whole area dissolved and like start back over to eliminate that migration and puffiness. I wouldn't just keep getting filler on filler on filler on filler. And I feel like if you're going to a reputable injector, they will tell you. The last treatment that I have and that I'm going to talk about today is my eyebrows are ombre shaded. So I've talked about this on my channel before. My eyebrows are permanent. Essentially, they're tattooed. They're permanent eyebrows. Microblading is very popular. That is not what I have. And the difference between the two, essentially, microblading is, it's like cuts. They're putting hair-like cuts in your brow, and each stroke is like supposed to mimic a hair, like a hair. And so they're doing these like a lot of little cuts to basically resemble eyebrows. I chose to go with ombre shading just because I feel like it heals a little bit better as it starts to not age, but as it starts to like wear and fade. I feel like ombre shading looks a little bit better than the microblading looks. Ombre shading is exactly like what the name says. It's more of a shading. So when I get my eyebrows done, she's like, the needle is not coming out of my skin. Like, it's a continuous shading, almost like coloring it in. I feel like it looks, I just like the look of it better. These are 6 months old. I typically get mine done every 2 years. So the first year I can do my full face of makeup and not touch my brow. Towards the end of the second year, they just kind of look like natural brows. So it's like if I put on makeup, I'll have to fill them in a little bit. But if I'm just like, I don't wear makeup every day, so if I'm just like, oh, I'm just supposed to do my skincare routine and leave, they still look really good. I just really like the way they heal and the way that they like age. So yeah, those are all the things that I have ever had done, like cosmetic procedures, and I just wanted to give a little bit of information, come from an informational standpoint, so that you are making educated decisions. Do your research. Over time, a lot of these things, if you just keep getting them, can just not look good or natural, or maybe I should say good to me, because that is subjective. I also think if you're young, give your body time to like fill out and like fully become what it's gonna become. Like, just give it time. Sometimes you grow into things. Sometimes things you used to hate, you don't hate anymore. Sorry, my camera died. Yeah, you are beautiful, but I don't think there's anything wrong if there are just like little things here and there that you want to do to make yourself feel even more beautiful. I always think about this, especially like I'm always like, when I have kids, like, am I gonna continue to get these procedures? I don't know what that's teaching them. Like, you know, just really starting to look internally on like why I get these and digging deep. Yeah, it's just interesting. Like, I just wonder how I'm gonna feel about all this in a few years. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want to get this when I have kids. I don't know if that's the messaging I want to send them. Other times I'm like, what's the difference from me like getting some Botox and when I start getting gray hair, dyeing it black? Like, what's the line between just like, I guess it's all just like what is societally acceptable, but like realistically, what I think it's all about internally, like where your heart position is eternally. Like, are you internally unhappy with yourself? When you look in the mirror, do you see something beautiful? Do you see like a beautiful creation that God made? You know, like, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you radiate? What's your aura? Yeah, but I think that's something we can all think about. I feel like this stuff used to be like only celebrities were really getting stuff like this. The normal person, it just wasn't so accessible, and people also weren't starting at like teenagers. It does feel like a bit of it has gotten out of hand. And I know that probably that's like so hypocritical because I literally get all these things that I just said, but I do think that there is like a balance and a limit. But let me know your guys' comments. Like, am I being totally hypocritical, or can you guys see where I'm coming from? Like, I don't know, it just makes me sad at like girls in high school, 16, 18, 19, want to change their face like drastically. I also think about when we're all like 60 and stuff, even with just like BBLs and stuff like that, like, what is our generation gonna look like as grandparents? Are we gonna be happy? Like, are we still gonna be happy with our decisions? Are we gonna regret things? Like, what is that gonna look like? I think they're so, I don't know, I love this stuff. Like, I just love facials and treatments, but I really love like the skin part of it, and so it's like seriously a passion of mine. But I think there is a bigger conversation to have around beauty and standards, and like what we're teaching the girls behind us, what we're teaching young girls. Like, I don't know, I think it's a conversation to have. I would love to have this conversation with someone who's like against any kind of procedures. I just want to know that perspective because I do feel like there is a middle ground to meet at. But with that being said, I will still be getting my Botox, filler, and eyebrow. Okay guys, let me know if I'm a hypocrite down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'm really excited for the skincare content, the aesthetic content. If there's anything you guys want to see, skincare routines, new products, if there are certain acids and skincare products you want me to talk about or recommend for certain skin types, all that stuff. I love this stuff. It is still my passion, even though I don't do it like for a career anymore. It's definitely still a huge passion of mine, and I would love to just like share my knowledge and also like opinions with you guys, and hopefully it can be helpful to some extent. So just let me know what the vibes are. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.